Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that were canceled and or short-lived that I would like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Showtime series City on a Hill. Really quickly, if you're unfamiliar with what City on a Hill is, it's a crime drama that takes place in 90s Boston. And there's a new ADA, DeCourcy, who basically wants to change the way things are run in Boston because Boston's filled with like corruption, on the political side of things, on the police side of things, and obviously like racism is a big issue that he's trying to, like, as a black man, having to deal with. But also on the other side of it, we have Jackie, who is a corrupt FBI agent, kind of doing whatever he wants to type of situation. And a big part of the show is a dichotomy between these two characters who sometimes work together, sometimes don't. There's always a kind of a give and take their relationship. A lot of times Jackie screws DeCourcy over, and it ends up kind of being this dynamic. Obviously, every season there's like a new overarching storyline in case that kind of ends up being the overarching story of the season. But it's typically like obviously the continuation of not only just Jackie and DeCourcy's story, but those around him, like DeCourcy's wife, Siobhan, as well as Jackie's wife Jenny and his daughter Benny, and just the relationships and dynamics with them, as well as like other characters who have their own stories and parts to play in a lot of these stories. So it's a really interesting crime drama that was sadly recently canceled after its third season. I was looking into it a little bit. One of the articles I read was saying that apparently this decision to cancel it kind of came out like months ago. So I'm assuming like before the third season even aired. So it was kind of already kind of, I didn't see that anywhere, but maybe that was already known. I didn't see that previously, but maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places. Either way, maybe it was, like I said, a known thing. I am kind of bummed to hear that. The thing, because this show is designed the way it is, that every season's basically a new story, but it's like, obviously, without jumping into spoilers, there's still more story to tell. With the way season 3 ended, there's not complete resolutions, especially like both for DeCourcy and Siobhan, as well as for Jackie and Jenny. Like there's definitely, especially with the Jenny front, like they're introduced some new story elements. You could see that really like playing a role going forward. But I feel like with the nature of the show, maybe 1 or 2 more seasons would be enough to wrap everything up. I mean, the show being the situation is now, like 1 more season, I think because of the state of that, you can like wrap up a lot of stories from where they are and tell 1 more like case or whatever. Cause I could definitely see where DeCourcy's story ended, like 1 more season. Cause like jumping up, a little spoilers, I could see like a season 4 be him and Guy Dan going at it, and I could definitely see that being a big plot point for him. And so I think, so that's why I feel like because of that element, I could definitely see it being like a, and especially where Jackie is, like maybe him trying to, like, he's always kind of swung back and forth when it came to the element of redemption. So probably 1 more season. I mean, once again, does he get to just easily walk away from everything that he's ever done or been a part of? Or does he pay the ultimate price by the end of the series? That'd be such an interesting thing. I don't necessarily, because I still haven't even seen the Ray Donovan movie. I need to, because I don't even know how that wraps up that series, because I wanted to watch it and I just never did, just because it'd been so long and I need to rewatch season 7 in preparation for it. Either way, my point is, I don't know if a movie would be enough to kind of conclusively end that story. Like I said, it's not like everything was left open, like there were loose enough threads that you could see continuing in the story, but it is resolved enough. You could be like, you could walk away, but you still would want more from that story and these characters. So I would want, at the bare minimum, 1 more season. You wanted to give me 2, I won't shy away from that, because I feel like 2 would probably give you a little more leeway to kind of do more to, and kind of go into it intentionally fully with a plan of like ending things. But whereas a season 4, you probably have to be like, all right, let's set up like those storylines we kind of set up, let's kind of rush to finish them. I don't know, I'd actually have to look into it to see like where the creators like stood at, like how much story did they have left to tell? Were they not really sure? Are they actually satisfied where things have ended up despite everything? I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But for me, at a bare minimum, I'd want 1 more season. So that's kind of where I stand on it. Obviously, this being on Showtime, I see that being very unlikely that this will end up on like anywhere else. But I mean, you never know. I don't think the show's in a situation where they're shopping it around anywhere. I don't think it's in one of those situations. So I think this is the end of the road. But you know, I do hope maybe Showtime eventually changes their mind later on down the road. Like I said, I don't know how it would feel if they wanted to go down the route of a movie like the Ray Donovan situation. But I mean, maybe a movie would be enough to kind of resolve things where they currently are. But I feel like nah, I don't want a whole other season to kind of really do that. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.